Hey guys, it's John and Mitch in Mitch's little studio. We're back at it again.
This glorious, glorious
Yes,
mini studio.
nice little studio. So we're back at it again with our weekly episode, and we got a few things we want to talk about today. We want to talk about why you should buy quality parts when you're building and modifying a rifle, and the safety aspects behind it. And then after that, we're going to transfer over to our competition rifles. I brought mine. He's got his here, being that he lives here. So
Kind of weird if I didn't.
yeah, it'd be weird if he did not have his own rifle at his own house. So yeah, we're just gonna jump right on in it. So I myself, we all know, I work and own a company named Lasso Precision, and I do modifications for customers and build rifles as well. I just so happen to have a customer that brought me a AR pistol, this one to be exact, and wanted a folding stock adapter installed. And I have significant experience installing these. I've installed hundreds and almost thousands of them. So I said, of course, I can install it. Just bring it to me, and I'll make it happen. So customer brings it to me, and right off the bat, I knew there were some things that were off. The product did not come in the original manufacturer's box. It was in a Ziploc bag with a bunch of other spare parts, and that was already a cue that things were off. And the guy said, "Yeah, I got this, and I want it installed because I'm gonna keep this in my Jeep now." And I was like, "All right, well, cool, I can do that." So I get it, and I install the adapter here. Mitchell's gonna try to get some B-roll up. But bro, look at this shit. It doesn't fucking seat and stay seated. It's as tight as it gets, and it still fucking moves. Dude, this thing is so fucking cheap. Oh my fucking god, dude. Piece of shit. It don't even have a set screw. While I'm installing it, I've installed the original quality version of this adapter before, and noticed that this was not that product. As a matter of fact, this is
almost like something you could get off of Wish.com.
I believe this was from Wish.com. And so I put this together the best I could, and it folds like it as advertised. It does fold, but here's the issue. Right here, there's a retaining pin for your buffer, and usually, we all know that retaining pin buffer pins are small, but they have enough heft to them to keep from being bent. Well, this one is, say, about the size of a needle.
And it's been in there about 24 hours and it's already bending.
Yes, it's already bending from not even anything I done. It's just from the spring tension, from the spring and the buffer. And then with a normal folding adapter, it will lock. Clearly, this one does not lock. That may be partially because the back plate that the customer wanted to stay on here, it's a double loop style, so he can run a sling. That's somewhat understandable. But even before, when I was testing it, before I put it on the rifle, it did not lock like it was supposed to. And another thing, when you go to lock it back in, it's supposed to take a good bit of effort to knock it back in, and this one just can go in super easy. The name brand version, you gotta put some heft behind it. And surprisingly enough, if you use the button like you're supposed to, actually, it'll somewhat works fine. And another thing about this is the way that it mounts to your lower receiver. There's I guess you could call it a screw or a bolt. It's like taking a buffer tube and turning it into a big bolt. It's about that long, and it fits into the slot in the back here. Has 4 slots, and the name brand component comes with a cheap little wrench that you can use to tighten it. Well, this did not come with that. So Gunsmith John has to come out and make it work for his customer because I said I could get it done, so John's going to get it done. So I got it in there, and it took forever to get the threads to line up like they were supposed to. The back plate did not want to line up the receiver and seat into the pocket that's on the back of the receiver. I had to clearance the adapter to fit into the hole in the pocket so I could get the thread started. And then I finally got it started and I got it tightened and then got all the other parts together. But as I sit here and played with it, and literally played with it, there is a significant, I mean, you can even see that this far away. The rest of the rifle's not moving, or the pistol, but you can see the stock's moving, or the arm brace. This has a very significant amount of play in it. You do not want that in your rear. The rear section of your firearm needs to be as rigid as you can get it because you have a lot of mass moving right here. And let's go back to the little buffer retaining pin. Being that it's so small, I can almost guarantee that on the very first round that this thing is fired, that pin will break and they will go for a second shot and this will just fucking explode more than likely. And after seeing this and seeing what a terrible product it is, I immediately got a hold of my customer. And granted, it was 8 o'clock at night, and I tend not to try to call customers after 8, but it was something that needed to be done because I'm a fair and just man, or I like to think that I am, and I wanted to let my customer know the situation. I told him, I said, hey, not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but the product that you brought me to install is subpar, and Laster Precision and myself is not willing to put our name behind this work and warranty this work, and I would need a waiver signed that I am not responsible for this if he tried to fire it, because it is not safe to fire. And the customer got back with me. We talked it out, hashed it out, and we've reached agreement to where, thankfully and luckily, he was understanding, and he said that he rather just have it removed, and we'll revert it back to the way it was beforehand. But yes, whenever you buy products, I get that some things you'd be like, man, that's just such a good deal. The original thing's $250 and this one was $80. How I can save almost $200 on this? Well, sometimes some things you have to spend the money on if you want it. It's just the way that it is with firearms, especially stuff like this that could potentially become a hazard. And like always, this firearm is cleared.
Yeah, don't have a bolt carrier or anything.
There's not even a bolt carrier or a charging handle, which is another thing. If you take a firearm to a gunsmith, please, for the love of God, make sure that you have everything that goes to it, because it's hard for the gunsmith to figure out what's going on if you don't have every component to that firearm. So say you have a firearm that's not firing or is not cycling like it's supposed to, like an AR's not cycling, but you bring it to him without the bolt. He's not going to know what's going on because the bolt could be the problem. So please bring everything with the firearm. But yes, this is a huge nightmare, and luckily I'm not going to charge the customer for this just because simply he just didn't know. And I'm going to pass it off to Mitchell because
I got a couple things to say.
Yeah, I'm disgusted with it.
So, one thing I gotta say is, number one, well, something this short, because this one was like 8-inch barrel, 7,
Yeah,
something like that. It's really super short.
I get that he's flagging me, but this is a teaching lesson. It's okay.
I'm trying not to flag. It's actually pointed back towards the wall,
Yeah.
even though it looks like I am. And revert back to my shooting for noobs,
Yes.
firearm safety video. But anyways, On something like this, you can't run a standard carbine length gas system, which is normally deemed the shortest reliable gas system for an AR platform. This one's running a pistol system. The only caliber that I would trust with a pistol system to run reliably would be the 300 Whisper or 300 Blackout, whichever you want to call it, because that was made for super short barrel pistol gas system. 5.56 I wouldn't do it. Plus, with something this short, you're gonna have so much back pressure coming back because you're tapping off like literally 3 or 4 inches from the chamber, and so you're gonna have all that coming back into here. So now you've got this huge weak point with your folder. And there's been reports, and I've seen a couple of them do it, where number one, when you're this retainer is just about to fail as it is. When your retainer fails, it'll actually get stuck in here, and you won't be able to function your gun without taking it apart. And then another thing that'll happen is, this is a lot more rare, but the adapter that goes into the back of the bolt carrier to bridge the gap between the end of it and to go through all this right here to get back to your buffer. Sometimes, a lot of times, it'll actually be off-sized from what it should be, and it'll end up cracking the bolt carrier. So when it comes to making, and now I won't want to shut.
Another reason why you buy quality parts. Just further proves our point here.
Nope, the thing actually did just fail.
Did it really?
It did.
That we could not have planned that any better, guys.
Jesus
oh my
Christ.
god! All right, so
this gun,
yeah, I'm gonna have to do some gunsmithing when I get home, guys.
yeah.
You know what, Hannah? Here, we'll just
I'm
throw
just gonna
that to the
shotgun
side.
it and just gonna shove it back
Oh
down.
wow! Yeah, go ahead then.
But I'll go ahead and tell you which one we really talk about with the name brand. We're talking about the Law Tactical one, because those are, they got it going on with those.
Yeah, it is a very good folder. I'm not a huge fan of folders on ARs, but that one is a quality piece. You can just tell right off the bat with the build quality.
There's a couple of other offshoots of them that are less expensive, that actually are. I believe they're American made, but I'd still stick with the Law. And no, actually, I'll do the Yeet Cannon with the folder. We'll make it a 12.5, and show you what that actually looks like. But going back to what I was talking about, when you have something this short, putting this much pressure back through the system, and you have this huge weak point, you're just asking for trouble. Because one thing you really do not want to mess with is all the functioning parts, like your rail system. As long as the barrel nuts on there tight, like the rail system could come off and it's still going to function. But you're literally messing with the heart of the gun and putting a severe weak point in here by using subpar components. So if you don't have the budget for a good AR, like a good factory AR, like a BCM, or if you're really Gucci, like a Knights or a Sons of Liberty or something like that, at least get a cheaper one, and then make small but very important upgrades to the operating system, like getting a good bolt carrier group. Make sure your barrel's a good manufacturer, that kind of stuff. But as far as your upper and lowers, like I actually do have an upper that is very, very out of spec. So not all uppers are the same, so be careful with those. But for the most part, like, you can use less expensive, like, budget, I'm going to do this with quotes, budget blowers. And they'll do fine. Like, both ones I have right now are PSA lowers. And it's, believe it or not, it's actually really hard to mess up a lower with as much documentation that's out there. Like, it's not hard to Google and find the actual TDP for the low receiver drawings if you know where to look. But anyways, that is a big reason why, again, spend the extra money, get the quality part, and put it in there. But this brings us back to, well, not really back to, but into. I'm sure you guys have been seeing. I did a video on my practical precision rifle. Well, we decided to do a little bit of testing, and so let me move this out of the way. So John here he built himself one. It's a little bit different than mine, but I'll let him talk to y'all about it.
Yes, sir. So, you're probably thinking, oh my god, it's the same rifle as Mitchell's. But it's not.
No, his is all black, and mine's just khaki.
Hey, function over form. I say the same thing with cars.
But yeah, yours is form over function.
Is it though? Anyway, representing the Yellow Sticker Gang. So I guess I could start at the stock and work my way down. So
first off. So John, go ahead and bring mine up here too.
Yeah.
Just for a second, I'll put it back down. So he's got that one. I've got this one. So basically, what the idea is, so this one isn't quite a no expense spared, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
His is more of a I got a budget.
Yeah.
So how much roughly do you have invested in this? And you can break it down by part, or you can just give a whole number.
I would say roughly. Give me about a second to think about it here. Almost $2,000 for this whole setup.
Okay.
Which is understandable for a competition package. But yeah, so far it's almost $2,000, or probably right at $2,000. That's only because I am a dealer for most of these components, so therefore I did utilize my discount. So there is that.
So it would be about the retail price.
Okay, so retail price probably about $2,500, more or less.
Okay, that's a little bit more than I thought.
Yeah. So, but granted, I didn't cheap out as bad as the pistol. That pistol we were just talking about.
Yeah, that's probably like a $400 gun.
Yeah, if that. The most expensive thing on there was probably the fucking ambi safety, or actually the low receiver.
Yeah, the lower.
Yeah, that was one of those cool guy fucking mowers. But anyway, Booth AR,
the NBA3.
ABA3 stock, and then up we have a Aero Precision ambi charging handle with a PSA bolt, and then the lower is Anderson. I have a CMC triggers 2.5 pound trigger with a Luth AR chubby grip. Very comfortable.
Chubby.
Yes, it fits comfortable in big hands. The only thing is, if you go to shoot offhand, if you're left-handed, it does not feel good. It's not comfortable, and it just sucks. Let's just be honest. It's made for right-hand shooting only. Go forward. This is a complete PSA upper, so I'll explain a little bit of that. I bought this as a firearm kit. So it was the complete upper and all the components to basically build an entire rifle minus a lower receiver, or stripped lower receiver. All I did was take this upper, and I already had this Anderson lower. It's one of my personals that I have. So I threw the upper on the lower, and I went and got all the other components for the lower. But the entire upper is all PSA. So 18-inch stainless barrel, a 223 Wild, a 1-7 twist, and PSA rail. And we have a Magpul M-Lock bipod. Then moving on to the optic, I have a Vortex Diamondback Tactical 6-24. I have my sunshade on it and the little bikini on it. right now just because I was transporting it here. And then for the scope mount, I'm using the Arrow Ultralight mount, which they're not lying, it is very light. And surprisingly enough, as it being so light, it is super sturdy, like to the point where I was picking up the rifle just by the optic, which I don't recommend doing that, but I was moving a bunch of stuff around at one time, so I just had to grab this where I could grab it and move it. But yeah, that's roughly the build, and also I'm borrowing Mitchell's sling because I was an idiot and forgot to order one. But that about wraps it up. And I use 20 round PMags with this rifle. I know Mitchell uses steel mags.
I want to use the mag pulls. I just haven't been able to find any.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna hook my boy up. But yeah, this is when you want to build a quality rifle, but you don't exactly have the funds to build a super quality rifle. You could get away with something like this. This is something that you could say skimp on and still be safe and still have a bit of quality. Some people don't like PSA and they say they're not great rifles or what have you, but I shot this rifle today and pulled a 2-inch group with 62 grain at 210 meters, and I can't complain. So further out, we'll see, but that was just me bullshitting in my field. So I wasn't trying for a super tight group, but that's just what I pulled. But so far, I put 20 rounds through it just to try it out. I'm going to clean the barrel because it's in break-in, or it should be broken now after the 20 rounds. So I want to clean it, and then I'll go out and try another group and see how it does. But so far, I am impressed with the quality of the PSA upper. Later on down the road, I do want to move on to a 20-inch barrel. I'll probably use everything else that's on here, but use a 20-inch barrel, and then if it's a different gas system length, then I will upgrade that. But the barrel's really the only thing that I want to change on this, and I can't say it enough. I'm happy with it. It works for me, and I figure it'll get the job done. But that can roll us over to Mitchell's build, which is not exactly a baller build, but he's got quality stuff.
and I also didn't have to pay for one of the most expensive parts on the gun.
Yes.
I like that. Anyways, so roundabout in total. Now mine still ain't done yet. Cause I'm gonna end up. I was originally gonna get a Raptor or Radian charging handle, but I'm thinking about picking up one of the AMB Geisleys now. They're about the same price. And then different grip, but we still haven't set on that one. But otherwise, as it sits, I was just verifying the math in my head. I've got right around $2,900 into this one. Now, granted, let me preface this: I did not pay for the rail, and I got the scope half off because of this ugly color.
Hideous.
It is hideous, but it works. Because normally, street price for this particular optic, which this is a Burris XTR2 with the SCR mill reticle. It's a 525. This scope normally street price is between $1,350 and $1,500, and I got it for $750. So I'm not complaining about it.
Mind you, that is cheaper than dealer pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So he got a steal.
They're just like getting rid of them.
Yeah.
But anyways, just a quick basic rundown. So it's a PSA lower, Arrow upper. I forget who makes the bolt carrier in the bolt carrier group.
Microvest.
No.
No.
Well, maybe, I don't know. So I got the bolt carrier itself, not the whole group. I bought the rest of the parts somewhere else, but the bolt carrier, the barrel, and well, no, not the whole parts. But I bought all that at the AK guy swap meet.
Oh yeah, those are Microvest.
Are they?
Yep, that's Microvest.
I mean, they did look like they came in the same box, but like they didn't look like Microvest.
Brandon, you cheeky fella.
I mean, he just bought a whole factory,
Yeah,
so I can't fault him for it.
I
But
can't
yeah,
blame
the gas keys weren't staked properly. But anyways, so I got the same stock keys running. The only reason I went with this over something like a Magpul or a B5, mainly weight. This gun's heavy enough because it's a heavy profile barrel, and it already weighs like 15 pounds. Anyway, so same stock keys running. I've got a Sons of Liberty ambi safety. I've got an ambi mag release. I got a basic Geisley 2-stage Brownells parts kit on the inside. This is just a Strike Industries charging handle with a large latch while I'm waiting on my Geisley. Knights Armament 13.5 URX 1 rail. Not sure who makes the barrel, but it's a 5.56 chamber with a 1/8 twist. Faxon gas block, just bare bones A2 flash hider. Burris Signature QD pepper mount, and I'm running a Vickers tactical padded sling, and a Caldwell bipod up front, which I'm actually starting to like it. So I might end up keeping that and not going with the PSR Atlas bipod, but we'll see. This gun, we put 10 shots inside of 3/4 of an inch at 100 yards. And that was right after I got it put together and shot it. So this is a good shooting gun. I enjoy it. Definitely quite a bit more expensive than John's. But now, if I factored the price with the rail, now I'm not factoring the price of the barrel nut wrench, even though that's a very expensive part and it's only for this particular rail system, but I did regular price on the scope and the rail. This is close to about $3,800. So this is not a cheap build, and it took me a little while to be able to actually build this piece by piece, and I ended up having to sell a USB, an H&K USB to fund it, which I'm kind of bitter about, but it shoots good enough, it kind of makes up for it. But yeah, 20-inch barrel, shoot the same division, but we're also going to see who's ends up having more issues, which will probably be me at first until I stake the gas key on the bolt here. I don't know why I put that up. And yeah, so and there's definitely eventually we're going to do like a part by part breakdown of the major components, like the optics, the triggers, barrels. Well, I don't think the barrels would be essentially fair because you're 2 inches shorter.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 inches is 2 inches. It's a big difference.
Makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm. But that plus, like, this optic is in a completely different class than his. But that's just because, Diamondback's running what, about $500? About $600?
About $500, yeah.
And these are almost $1,500.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of features on these you're not going to get on that. But otherwise, we'll see how they shoot. That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. And full disclosure for my rifle. So when I picked up my stock kit, your boy didn't read the description.
No, he didn't. I read the description when I bought it, but he didn't read the description when he bought it.
I seen Mitchell built his, and then I had just sold a bunch of stuff of personal rifles of mine, and I was like, you know what, I've always wanted to build one of these rifles, or a precision rifle, so I'm going to build one. And so just went ordering stuff, not exactly paying attention like I was supposed to, and I ordered, get this, a 308 or AR-10 rated stock and buffer system, because this was an entire kit, come with the extension and the buffer and the spring.
Well, you didn't misread that. You were originally going to put it on that 6.5.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah,
And then as soon as he got the 5.56 over, he goes, "No, I want to do a 5.56," and then forgot he ordered a 308 kit for the stock.
yeah. So I don't know if y'all remember or not, but I have my friend Nathaniel, um, awesome guy. He has a 6.5 Creedmoor AR-10 upper receiver that I have at my shop or my house, and he wants me to use it to shoot and get groups with it and see how it does. So I ordered myself a lower to test this upper out, and I got a scope that he wanted, and I put on it as well. It's also a Diamondback Tactical. His is a 3 to 14.
No, he has got a 4 to 16.
4 to 16. I apologize. He knows his shit better than I do. But yes, I originally ordered this stock for my AR-10 lower and not this AR-15 lower. And all of this stuff came in at the same time, and I still was waiting on AR-10 stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? I've been needing to build an AR-15 competition rifle. I'll just throw this on there, and I will just change the buffer out. For me being a damn master armor, AR-15 armor, I should have knew that the spring rate was going to be a bit off.
And what happened?
So yesterday, I took my rifle out, super giddy, and I was like, I'm going to shoot some groups today and get this zeroed in. I got everything close as I could by eye, looking down the barrel, looked through the scope. It was super close. Got behind the rifle, put it in my lead sled, then got behind it. Shot, cool, on target, like a couple inches off, small adjustment. I'll just do 2 more shots to confirm. Click, and then click. I was like, well, shit, it didn't cycle. So I rack it, boom, click, nothing. Well then, we have an issue. But I knew, hey, it was just my buffer that I need to change. So I go and grab the buffer that I ordered because I knew that I was going to switch over. Put the new buffer in it, throw the rifle up, boom, click, nothing. And I was like, well, shit. And about that time, wife and baby got home, so therefore, I got to cut this shit out, spend some family time. And so today, I went and shot again, and it did the same thing. And I was like, well, let me try something different. So remember I told you that I bought this upper with a parts kit? Well, that parts kit went on the AR-10 lower. So the tube, the buffer, everything. So I went and pulled the spring out of that one, and then put the AR-10 spring that was in this in the carbine tube, and put the carbine AR-15 spring in here, and I'm running a AR-15 rifle length buffer with the spring, and it fits perfectly like it's supposed to, and sure as hell, rifle cycle, put 20 more rounds through it, and went out and did that group, and was shooting steel out at 210 meters and pulling that group. It was tight enough for me, I would say. I would pull mine out, but it looks exactly like that.
Does it?
Yeah.
Same length spring?
No, it is not. Break this guy
I
down.
was just thinking about that. I was like, carbine spring rifle buffer. I'm like, that don't sound like a good combo.
It's short. It's a bit short, but it works.
This is what we was talking about with the just as good.
Yeah.
Just as good pill.
Yeah. So.
He's being Bubba over there.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
So just for clarification. Oh, wait. I move you in.
You see it there?
Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna set that spring.
Yeah, there's the difference.
Yeah. When you're running a rifle buffer, it's very important to run the proper length spring.
Yes, run the proper spring. I only did this to get the rifle running this afternoon. I have another spring on the way. Do not murder me.
Yeah, it's like different weights and everything.
So the matter of fact, the spring rate on that AR-10 was like it's a thicker coil. It's a lot heavier. So of course. Same spring rate.
As a 10?
No, like these two are the same rate. It's just it's longer.
This one's a little heavier than that one, but anyways, not to get bogged down with this or that. But sometimes you need something that's field expedient.
Yeah. Another little thing I'll touch on. When you're building when you're assembling an AR.
Well, no. There are builders out there. They have routers now. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself.
For the love of God, don't bring me an 80%. Please don't. I will build it, but don't bring me one that you built. Please, I beg of you. Unless you put a serial number on it, but even then, don't fucking bring it to me.
Oh my god.
Anyway, when you're building an AR, sometimes your lower and upper may not line up perfectly for your takedown pinholes. I had a conversation with an old Army buddy today that he said he bought a couple uppers the past few weeks and they wasn't fitting on his lower. And he said he had to take a rubber mallet to his takedown pins so that they go in all the way. And he's like, dude, he's like, I did this for like 10 years in the Army with you. And, you know, this thing, I know how to take a fucking AR apart. I was like, well, yeah, dude. And he's like, why is it not fitting? Well, sometimes, you know, uppers are a little bit out of spec. So some manufacturer who will not be named that I work for, they take an upper and lower and they ream the takedown pin holes together. So it's a smooth action of the takedown pins.
Yeah, they're pretty much like, without giving too much away, they pretty much just take lower, slap an upper on it, and as soon as that upper gets slapped on it, it stays with that lower.
Yep.
And then they just run a home through it real quick, just enough to get them to slide smooth through.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
And like he said, they stay with each other the rest of the build process. And at the end of the day, before it gets shipped out, they get thrown together and then wham, bam, bang, fucking wham, bam, Afghanistan is fucking a finished rifle. But, yep, I love my Army buddy, but I had to explain to him, yo, it's normal. You're just going to take a ream to it. And then I had to explain to him how to take a lower apart.
I'll show you how to spec lower.
Oh, yeah, Mitchell.
Bear with me getting in front of the camera.
Yeah, so as he's retrieving that, he has an upper that is out of spec. And he can show it to you right about meow.
And I will wholeheartedly tell you who this is made by. Just give me 1 second.
Who did it?
Hang on.
Who the fuck did it?
Calm your damn tits.
Who did it? I really don't know who did it. I'm curious.
Now, granted, I wasn't going to throw this one out, but I decided to bet against it. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I actually have a 9mm shell deflector on here and dust cover. I'm going to make it a 9. But, so, give me the upper you got.
My upper? Okay.
Yeah, your upper bolt.
Oh, yeah.
So, this upper I bought for $70. It's made by IO. Yes.
The Exploding AK Company?
Yes. For whatever reason, I thought, well, they got to do better with ARs. So I was like, $70, I'll buy it and we'll see what happens. Well, this is the first upper that went on that gun. The one I just showed you. But I had a problem. It was a big problem. I would slowly let the bolt ride home, and the bolt lugs would hit on the receiver extension and not just slide through like they're supposed to, because the slot for the barrel extension pin is just enough out of place. And then something else I found, which I'm going to demonstrate with this one. I have no idea if this one will act right or not, but we're gonna find out. So if you take the book here, it's got a little bit of wiggle to it. Not bad. It's not
It's
terrible.
okay to have a little bit of wiggle.
Mine actually has a lot less wiggle, but I probably also spent more on the upper than the bare upper than PSA spent on making one. But so if I drop it into this one, put it all the same. I don't know if you can hear the difference, but there is like a good
A significant amount. Yeah.
bit, like it's literally doing like this inside the receiver, and you can also rotate it a good bit.
Ooh, gross.
So this in two very important areas is out of spec. This is another reason why you should spend the extra money
Can you see that?
and buy. No, the takedown things are good.
Alright, we line up.
They don't mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. That
So
is
here-
what he means by out of, or one of the reasons how something could be out of spec. I don't remember right off the actual inner diameter what that's supposed to be, but it's a piece of trash. I really should have just do it in a recycle bin at work, but
So you said you were going to tell us who made this.
I did.
Who?
I have.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm an idiot. Or I can't remember shit. I got CRS. Can't remember shit.
Hmm.
But yeah, holy shit, dude. That is really off, guys. Damn. That is just, dude, that is just wild. The amount of play that ball has. That should have been scrapped. Where did you get this?
I'm not gonna say for sake of the video, but I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeet!
I mean, it was on the Geek Cannon lure, so.
Well, that's perfect. Oh man.
You know, when I build my 12.5, we will get that sling back.
Yeah. Okay. That's part of with a budget build. You borrow shit too to put on your rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I didn't even count my sling
Yeah.
price and how much I paid for that. And he's just got, hey man, I need that sling like I need some crack.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like no rifle is really complete without a sling. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. No matter whether it's 1 point or 2 point, 3 points, it does matter. You can just throw those away. But unless you're shooting an MP5, then it's acceptable.
I used to run a 1 point in the Army.
I was talking about 3 points.
Uh,
No, 1 points are fine. Like at the Kenosha kid. That was a textbook use of a 1 point.
we're not.
But we're not going
We
too
don't
far into that.
talk about that stuff on this channel.
We're not edgy boys.
Yeah, we're not fucking edgelords in this bitch. Also, get you a quality tech mat. He has this, what is this?
That's the same.
Ceres gear? Yeah, so
It was like $30.
he has a Ceres gear tech mat. I have the exact same brand tech mat, but mine's AR-15, AR-10, and 1911 on it. Super good mat. It's a great working surface to work on because say you got like screws and stuff, they don't roll as easy on this, and it's soft, and you're not going to beat up your table. See this is a glass table. His girlfriend would fucking murder both of us if we scratched it, and my wife would murder me if I scratched our kitchen table. So get you a good tech mat.
Unless you like one of those cool guys who have their own like shop and stuff.
Yes.
Which I'm working on it, but the garage ain't set up yet.
Yeah, and I'm actually waiting for my business. We're getting an actual shop. So
That's what that reckons for.
Yeah, so at work they were giving away some racking, and I don't know how I was the first one to email back that said I wanted it, so I got lucky with that.
Mm.
But I did not know that shit was like 15 feet tall.
It's like 10.
Okay, well, dude, it's fucking huge. I'm 6'3", or was 6'3", and it's way over my head, and I'm like, yo, I live in a single wide. This is not gonna fit in my house. And I was like, oh, what am I gonna do with this? Like, I don't know how I'm gonna get this in my work van. I'm gonna have to take it apart. So yeah, I've yet to get it. I gotta get it tomorrow.
I know. I saw the signs. I was like, I already got enough racking. I don't need any.
And so with the email, she said that free racking. I thought it was 2 sets of 2. That's why I said I'll take 2 in my email. I didn't know that there was just only 2 racks. I was gonna let somebody else have them. Like, I didn't want to take the whole wall.
No, dude, there was like 6 racks in there.
Really?
Yeah, so you had like 3 sitting over against the D&D racking.
Oh.
And then over by where yours are, there were like 4 others sitting there.
Oh, okay. So I didn't pick up one.
No.
Sweet. Okay, I don't feel much like an asshole now. But yeah, get you a good tech mat. Have you good workspace.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I was taking gunsmithing classes, one of my classes was literally all about setting up your workspace and having a proper workspace to work. I have a semi-proper setup. The only thing that I'm lacking would be a vise in my work area. I have a vise elsewhere on my property that I can use, but it's not in my actual work area. But we can. That's probably a video that I'm going to do one day. Is how to set up your proper gunsmithing work area and what needs to go where and such. But yeah, get you a good mat. They can be a little pricey, but it's worth it.
And invest in some little like mag trays. Those are very helpful too, especially like on something like, let's see, like something like shoot, like this.
Yeah,
like something like this.
That old bastard.
There's a lot of small little screws and stuff that can get lost, and so now you have a little collectible to throw it in, and they're all steel anyway, so then you can like turn it upside down, you know, throw it across the room. They're not going to come out. It's fine. Don't ask how I know. But yeah, so that's always a plus because trust me, if you work in long guns, it ain't just going to be ARs. If you're doing just ARs, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah, it pays to expand your horizons and do more than just ARs. I worked for a strictly AR manufacturer at one point. I was an armor for them, and holy shit, it gets repetitive building ARs. You want to see something different.
And trust me, I know. I've been there.
Yeah, and when I finally started doing my own thing and started working on other guns, it's great.
Once you hit about 1,500 built, you're like, yeah, it's time for something else.
Yeah, it's funny. Funny you say that. Somebody asked me one day, "How many ARs have you ever built?" And I was like, I lost count at like 2,000. I'm not even shitting you. I'm dead serious.
I actually did count. I counted the average we were putting out a day and how many went through my hands.
Yeah.
In a year and a half, I did 11,000 rifles. Alone.
How many were you pumping out a day?
I'm not going to say because that might be a little bit of a hush hush for that particular.
Well, we didn't name drop, so.
I'll say back then we weren't doing as much as y'all was doing when you was there. He was doing, I want to say 50 to 75 a day.
Okay.
Between the 5 or 6 of us.
Okay, so I was doing about 50 to 100 a day.
Individually, or?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about whole armory.
Yeah. Well, no, the whole armory building, we were hitting like 350 a day.
Okay, yeah, we weren't, but y'all had a lot more armors than we did.
Yeah, but I was a lot faster than everybody else because we had temps.
See, we had it down to, I think we were averaging about 5.5 minutes a gun.
Okay. Yeah, we were right at getting close to like the 3.5 to 4. We were in that range. Me and another coworker that we are very
And we
friends.
should preface this. We're talking about from stripped receivers to complete guns.
Yeah, like more stripped than that piece of shit. Like bare
From that
to
this
yeah.
without optic.
And in the interview for that particular job, like the manager at the time told me, he's like, dude, you'll be taking carts of parts to carts of guns. And that they roll you up a cart full of parts and you
take what you need,
divvy it up, and then you just go and you start building until you finish that work order. Work orders can range from 1 rifle to 150, 200 rifles on a work order. So it all
depends on the customer.
Yep. But yeah, we were this specific or this individual company I was working for. We hit our biggest day. We hit 412 rifles on one shift.
And I'll say, Lord have mercy, if you got guns bound for Canada and they have a 5.56 barrel on them. Just saying.
Yes.
That is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, Canada cannot have an AR-15 and 5.56. It has to be marked 223.
Yep.
So if you have a bunch of guns, and granted we know the calibers, the chambers at least for the most part are interchangeable, and the barrel's not marked 223, well guess what? They're not going to make it through customs.
Was it the custom engraving, or did it have the engraving on the side as well of the caliber?
No, I had it on the South receiver too.
So they had a custom file to put on it?
I believe so, yeah. So
I was a laser engraver at this specific place as well too.
Yeah, I worked at the same place, but I did pretty much everything except the lathe work.
Yeah.
So, machining, armory. Yeah.
I did everything but machining on the receiver side and barrel cell. That I did not do. I worked with the one guy that cuts barrels for the gas block.
What do you mean cuts barrels for the gas block?
Well, you put the gas block on the barrel.
Oh, and it drills the pins?
Oh,
yeah, I remember him, yeah.
He still works there.
I know.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere.
Cool guy. Old guy. He been there for a minute.
Like, no, he ain't. I started before he started there.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He was the new guy on the block a little bit into my first tenure there.
Okay. Well, I mean, you were there for a hot minute too, though.
Mm-hmm.
But we've digressed.
Yeah, we'll get off topic and quickness.
Yeah, we apologize. So let's go over the things.
Oh look, guns.
Yeah. Oh look, guns. Yeah. Buy quality shit. When you take stuff to a gunsmith or an armorer, bring quality shit and
bring all the
complete
parts.
Everything. If you have a question, ask. Please, for the love of God, ask.
The only unacceptable question is, can I watch?
Yes, you are not watching me work on this bitch. I will not. But yes, I answer questions all day long for Lasker Precision. It does not bother me. Please, even if you think it's stupid or something that everybody knows and you feel embarrassed, please don't feel embarrassed. Ask me, ask Mitchell, ask somebody that's somewhat qualified first, because I would hate for someone to get hurt or even die. That is absolutely tragic and should not happen. When it's so easily prevented, when you could have just picked up your phone, hop on your computer, whatever, and message or call somebody and be like, hey, I got this question.
That reminds me, I just want to add this caveat. All firearms you've seen in this video have been cleared and checked prior to the filming.
Multiple times. Like, even, I'm sure you've seen it whenever I put my rifle back together, I cleared it, even though we cleared it before I put it up on the table. It's just a manual of arms and a habit of me whenever I do stuff like that. So we couldn't exactly clear a pistol because there wasn't a fucking bolt in it. But yeah, Yes, like he said, whenever you're working with a firearm, make sure it's cleared. And when you're in a work area, keep ammo away from your work area. Ammo should not be anywhere near your work area.
The only exceptions to that, and it's not really about ammo, is dummy cartridges are fine. Like what I do with, because I don't use snap caps, I'll just like take a piece of brass, deep prime it, run it through a size knife, and just shove a bullet in it, and there's my dummy round. Easy thing to do. If you wanted to spend the money on snap caps, go for it. But I reload, so
yeah,
it's easy to make them for me.
If you don't, snap caps are the way to go. Please do not use a live round to check anything with your firearm when you're working on it, because that is the #1 way accidents happen. Is you're going to have that round in there, and you're going to forget about it, and then you're going to go, oh, well, let me function check my fucking trigger, and then more than likely, if you forgot about your ammo, you're probably not going to be pointing that bitch in a safe direction. And then you're going to shoot, and you're going to fucking possibly maim or murder someone. And it's terrible for me to say that, but matter of fact, a good friend of my mom's, he was working on a handgun a few months ago in his house, and he went to fire the action on his pistol, and it was loaded. And the round went through the wall and hit his 5-year-old daughter in the head, which was in his wife's lap. It is, guys, we cannot stress safety enough. Guns are awesome. I fucking love shooting guns, but remember, you have to be safe. Even if it gets repetitive, we get it. It can get annoying, but damn it, I'd rather something be annoying than it be deadly.
You should be so familiar with it that you just revert back to it.
Yes.
And not even think about it.
And it should be to a point to where if you see someone else being unsafe, it should annoy the living shit out of you. And I'm not saying be a dick, but at the same time, correct them. And correct them quickly. I've been on many ranges where I've seen unspeakable things happen because people were being unsafe.
I was at one. Now this is one I frequent. Now I hadn't seen this happen again, thankfully. I ain't even seen the same people out there again. On a pistol range. Hot range. Someone's target pin out. Dude walked out on the range, on a hot range, to stand his target back up and walk back. And I noticed it, and I know everybody else noticed it because they all stopped shooting, and they just stared at him. And just stared at him. And then finally some dude was just like, what the fuck are you doing? So, don't do that.
Everyone has the right to call ceasefire.
At any time.
At any time. I don't give a fuck if you're 5 years old, you're 500 years old. Or you're a fucking main member of the club, or you're a guest. You call fucking ceasefire or cold range, everyone better fucking stop shooting. And generally they will. If someone hears ceasefire, they're going to cut out and they're going to look to the left and right and make sure their partner next to them.
Unload and make safe.
Yeah, unload, make safe. Condition 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, condition 4. Yeah, ceasefire, safety, buy quality shit. Take your shit to a gunsmith if you don't know what you're doing, please. Don't curse your guns.
No one likes a bubble.
Almost feels a derogatory term. But don't bubble your gun. I've never bubbled. Alright, guys, I'm gonna level with you real quick. If any of you've been in the military, you've had a what's called a hats off moment, and you notice I just took my hat off. I want to come clean on something, guys. When I was 18, I bought a Dragunov knockoff stock from SKS and put on it. I know. sorry.
Did you also buy those duckbill magazines? I feel like you did.
I bought a 20-year-old magazine for it. A 20-year-old magazine for it. A tap coat magazine. But guess what? That stock was no longer on there.
Did you finally put the other one back on? I
put the wood stock back on it like it was supposed to be.
Grant, last time I saw this was probably last year, and it still had the Dragonor stock on it. I think it's been on there for almost 10 years.
Many years. But I redeemed myself. I took the Dragonor stock off. I put the wood stock back on it. But I left the 20-year-old magazine on it. It works. It's functional. It don't look bad. And I will say that when I had that stock on there, I did not mind beating on it. So I took that rifle on a fishing camping trip, and that's a 4-day event that basically we put in a river and we float down very far away and we just live off the river for the whole weekend. That was my little survival rifle, and I took the rifle, threw it in the bottom of the boat for the trip, and we would float down the river. When I got to my sandbar, I'd take it out of the boat, throw it on the sandbar, next to my tent or wherever. And if I needed it, I needed it. If not, you know. But hey, it worked, and I wasn't scared. Now, if it had the wood stock on it, I wouldn't have fucking done that because I like the wood stock on it, even though it's in the raincoat. It's nice. Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. But I know we keep getting off topic. Buy quality shit. Go to a gunsmith.
Be safe.
Be safe. If you got to cheap out, buy something that's got at least some decent reviews on it.
And don't fucking buy an aluminum gas block, and we're not going to get on a tangent on that. I'm just going to leave it there. Don't.
Boy. I'm not.
It should be self-explanatory why you don't put aluminum on something that gets really hot. But
yes.
Anyways, I think we're going to call it there. It's getting kind of late.
It is.
And the girls are downstairs probably like, where the fuck are they?
Yeah.
But anyways, so as long as all the points you guys take away from it are buy quality shit and be safe. Good.
Yep.
So we'll see you next time.